Hi there, my name is Jimmy Frost and this is my first attempt at a DIY video. Today I want to talk about the Craftsman outdoor storage shed. I got it at Lowe's on sale and it was a pretty good deal. Full disclosure, I am an employee of Lowe's, so I did get an employee discount. I bought it because I live in a townhouse, and like many people who live in townhouses, storage space is at a premium. So where do I put all my lawn and garden equipment? And believe me, I have got a lot of lawn and garden equipment, probably too much for a townhouse, but that's another story. So after I talked to my wife, she gave the okay to go ahead and make this purchase, and I brought it home. At first I had it on the patio. That didn't work out too well because the patio has a slight down incline to it, and these resin sheds are not good when they're not on hard, flat, level surfaces. Always remember that. The other thing I had a problem with was the door hinges. Door hinges are a little wonky on this, so you have to be careful when you install them and make sure you don't cross thread the screw when you put it in. But when you get to a storage shed, what you'll find, especially with one made out of resin, you can't put a lot of weight on the walls. Otherwise, the walls will bow inward or outward depending on where the load is, and that'll cause a problem to the whole structure. So let me show you what I did. I call it leveling up a Craftsman shed. Here's the front of my Craftsman shed. As you see, I have it on a pretty firm deck that I built here about a week or so ago, and it's holding up really well. I put the boards in crossways, and I have a lot of cross members going across, probably about 8 of them, so I probably have more than I need, but it does help keep it very firm and very sturdy. I also made sure that I screwed the deck down of the deck of the cabinet down to the deck that I built on it, because if a strong wind comes along and there's not a whole lot of weight on this thing, you certainly don't want the wind blowing this thing around, and it will. But it's pretty stylish. It looks good. It's goes with the fence, that's for sure. And there's my neighbor yelling at his dog. And it's where I can keep all my stuff. But inside is where the real secret here is. You're also going to want to make sure to block your doors open, because you don't want the wind, which is kicking up around here today, flapping them around. If they flap around in the wind too hard, they will spring off the hinges. So here's what I managed to do. You notice none of the weight is really being borne by the walls. Now the shelf obviously is, and I probably have a little bit too much weight on there, but it seems to be holding that load well. But what I did was I took old pallets and made storage racks out of them and storage tables. That way you can double up your storage space. Under here is my Craftsman lawn vacuum and shredder. That stays right there most of the time. I have my lawnmower and spreader up here, which I'm using more often. I also have my lawn edger here, as well as my backpack blower. In the back, you see I've got some Craftsman storage boxes to keep things like fertilizer, grass seed, or anything else I might need. I have another leaf blower sitting on top of that, and behind that I have a storage shelf that I bought at the store for like 20 bucks for things like fertilizer, pesticides, grass killer, that kind of thing. Also, these milk crates work really good to separate and segregate one items from the other, like fertilizers, like engine oil or fuel. Over here, I built this just a couple days ago, and what I did was I took a piece of board and put it crossways, and I'd shaved it down a little bit so the hooks on the Craftsman V20 tools will hook right on there and hang them up really nicely. Another thing I did was I took this little wooden dowel and put it on the side of the bracket with a screw there and to hold it in. That way you can hang your loppers or your hedge clippers very nicely with no problems whatsoever. And over here are all the attachments for my power equipment that hang on hooks that are just screws into the board. And that's all that is. Really simple, really quick, and really easy. So let me show you the other thing. You may notice I don't have a whole lot of long handle tools in my shed, and here's the reason why. I built this just yesterday, and what happened was I took I cut the deck boards before I actually made the deck, and like an idiot, I'd cut them too short. So I salvaged a bunch of them, and I made them into this tool rack here. Now, yeah, they're being stored outside, but the problem with long handle tools is if you put them inside of the shed, you'll notice there's not a great deal of travel between the top of the shed and the end of the tool. So you really need a degree in geometry to get these things out, and you'll be banging into the roof the whole time. So since they're outdoor tools, and rust isn't going to hurt the dirt, so that's what I did. I built this tool rack here. I screwed it into the deck, and there's a brace on the back of it that holds it steady. And with this thing here, you can put additional things like these weird shovels on the outside of it. And it's a really handy dandy little item to keep your tools separated, segregated, and you can tell what's missing. Like right here, I'm missing a broom. But this is like I said, this is the setup that I got, and it seems to work really well. It keeps all my stuff in order, and it protects it from the elements. I will tell you that if you're in a area where you have really high winds or hurricanes, this shed is not going to hold up. It is just not going to do the job. It is meant to protect your items from the elements only, and that's it. But it's stylish. It makes everything really easy to find, and if you keep on top of it, it shouldn't get too dirty. Now that the shed's all locked up, I can tell you that the locking hasp on this is made out of plastic, so it is for appearances only. The Craftsman shed is a good value for me just because I need storage space that I can move around should the time come to move to another house or sell my stuff. But leaving that aside, it's easy to assemble. It took me about an hour to put together, and it really only required a screwdriver and a couple other tools like a rubber mallet to pound your stuff in. And it does a really good job of keeping my stuff out of the elements and helping keep the inside of my house clean and organized. And believe me, my wife does not like all my lawn tools in our utility room. That's one problem that she's complained about since we've been married. But overall, I'd have to tell you that they have many different sizes. All the Craftsman tool storage boxes are made by a company called Suncast. They're a well-known, well-respected company. They've been around for a long, long time, so they do know what they're doing. The other thing about this shed is there is a metal rail that goes along the top edge towards the front of the cabinet. It's kind of wonky to put it together, so you got to pay attention to the instructions, or there are many videos on YouTube from great creators who take you through it step by step and show you exactly what you have to do. They've got lots of sizes and lots of different features, everything from a thin outdoor cabinet to they make deck boxes. They make all kinds of things for outdoor storage. So if you do need outdoor storage, look at Suncast or look at the selection we have up at Lowe's, and I think you're going to find something that you really like. Okay? Have a great day. Thanks for watching.